Why your new gremlins are underperforming. A Crossout video by Dangerously Incompetent. Last weekend was a free Epic workbench, so I upped and built myself some gremlins from the Guiding Star Battle Pass season thing. Yes, great. Epic shotguns, just like the goblins, same size, same shape, same shotgun in the middle, and a bit of melee damage at the front with the rebar sticking out. So I thought it would be a jolly good wheeze if I slap them straight into my Mr. Plow build, because Mr. Plow build works and it's got 4 goblins, and I can just take these straight out and put in 4 goblins. No muss, no fuss, no bother. Get in there. Bang. Job's done. Right, I'll take them out to battle and try them out. And after a few battles, they're not doing very well. They're doing worse than the goblins are. I mean, admittedly, I've got upgraded goblins fitted to my Mr. Plow now, but they were doing worse than goblins, these gremlins. And I was wondering why. The first thing I looked at was the stats, and here I've put the stats of the goblin and the gremlin side by side so we can do a comparison. So the gremlin has 170 more power score, over 380, so half again as much power score it costs you. Damage, it does like a quarter of a bar more. What? We've gone from special to epic. It's tiny little bit more damage. Oh, and the fire rate's dropped. So in your burst of bang, 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 it's doing less damage. It's not doing the damage as fast because it's not firing as fast. Range is the same. Accuracy has dropped a little bit, and time to overheating has gone up. But that's because the fire rate's lower. Hooray! And it has the same features for 90% resistance to melee damage, which you're going to need if you're going to stick it out your front, and 50% shoot through. Durability's gone up by 52 points, less than half again. Energy drain's the same. Mass has gone up by 36. So stat-wise, it's not very good, is it? Especially compared to a goblin. You're paying 170 power score for about the same damage and a bit more durability. Ah, that's terrible. No wonder I wasn't doing badly. But wait. Gremlins and Epic. Epics are all about the bonus. You make the bonus work for you, the Epic part works well. So let's look at the bonus. When colliding with an enemy, the damage of the gremlin increases up to 30% for 5 seconds. The bonus depends on the strength of the hit and is equally distributed on all mounted gremlins. That sounds great. Up to 30%. Wow! Except that's an advertising 30%. Like when your internet provider says, we'll give you up to 30 megabits per second download speed. Theoretically, it's possible you'll get that 30, but practically you're very unlikely to see it. First, it's up to 30% extra damage bonus, depending on the strength of the hit, by which I think they mean momentum. The more momentum in the collision, the more damage bonus you get. Now, poor old Mr. Plow isn't exactly built for colliding with people, or built for the ram. It hasn't got a chameleon, it only goes 63 kilometers per hour at most, but let's see what we can do. We push the gremlins forwards to get them to collide, and poof, there we go. That looked about 15% to me. Let's look at it again in slow motion. Only 13% damage bonus at 62 kilometers an hour. Mr. Plow isn't exactly built for speed or ramming, so let's try a bit of a faster build, shall we? Whee! Right, what can we get up to? Boost and bang. That looked like 30% to me. Maybe we should see it again in slow motion. Yes, maximum gremlin damage bonus 30% at 173 kilometers per hour. One good thing I noticed whilst I was testing was that it only takes one gremlin to collide and then they all get the bonus. So if I cross mount, it's never going to get a hit, And we turn around and spin over, and you'll notice that, bang, they both get the bonus, but only the front one collided. So that's nice. Secondly, you do not receive a flat damage bonus for 5 seconds. If you ram for a maximum bonus of 30%, it dies away to 0% bonus in 5 seconds. So you might get 30% with your first shot if you time it just right, but by your second shot you're down to 24% bonus. By your third shot you're down to 18% bonus or something like that. And if you start at 13% bonus from your ram, it dies away at the same rate to 0% in 2 seconds. So you don't get 30% bonus for very long, even if you do manage to ram. And this bonus is very situational. Realistically, how many shots are you going to get per battle within less than 5 seconds of a ram? Not that many. Mr. Plough here isn't going to get very many at all, because basically he's got to entice people to ram him or find someone stationary. What you really need is not a tanky build, slow build like this. You need a fast, interceptory, camouflagey build like this one. What's his top speed? 107 kilometers per hour, and he's got a chameleon in there. So it's going to use the bonus. You're going to have to play like a lancer. Hide, jump out, ram someone, shoot them, hope you destroy them, and then run off. A tanky build like Mr. Plough here, where the gremlins are hidden away and defended, is simply the wrong sort of build. I was not getting the extra damage bonus that you can get off the gremlins, and that's why I felt they were underperforming. I was simply in the wrong build. But you're in an interceptor style build, you're going fast, you're ramming, so why are your goblins underperforming? Firing arcs. The firing arc of the gremlin is terrible, it's worse than the goblin, and the goblin's firing arc is restrictive enough. If we take a look at Mr. Plough here, and he's got his goblins on, and we press F, and now you can see those firing arcs. If I take the goblins out and replace them one for one with gremlins, make sure I'm in the same position, attached to the frame at the back. And if we press F again, look at that! That firing arc's tiny. Why is it so small? That's why I was that's really why I was underperforming. I simply wasn't firing. I was pressing the fire button and shooting people over here like I'm used to shooting with the goblins, and they weren't firing because I was outside of the firing arc. They simply weren't firing. It's a horrible firing arc. If we look at one gremlin on its own and press F for the firing arc, it looks okay. It's square just like the goblins, about the end face of the weapon, except there's this little bit extra on this side and a little extra bit on this side. But as soon as you place them side by side, it's absolutely awful. They interfere with each other's firing arcs, even more so than an armoured track does. What on earth were the developers thinking when they did that? You can alleviate this problem, and the simple way is to pick them up and rotate it 90 degrees from its default orientation, and do that the same for all of them, and all of a sudden they're not interfering with each other's firing arcs all that much, and that's much better. But if you want to make use of that extra bit of arc to shoot upwards, say, then in order to get hovers, then you'd need to separate them out. That also gets rid of the problem. But that's going to make building with them a very interesting challenge. The gremlin stats are poor, and its bonus is hard to utilise. But the real turd on the gremlin cake is their firing arcs when you place them next to each other. In summary, I have this to say about the gremlins. Go home, Tarjum, you're drunk.